Hey, what up, everybody? This is a slow night here tonight, basically chilling out at the Stevie Breach household. Came home, ate some dinner, was a little bit of a funky mood. Then I remembered, hey, it's Wednesday, NXT night. I was glad to turn on NXT and watch a 1 hour of wrestling. Easily one of the best wrestling shows there is on television. I think the 1 hour time period was probably the best, but the show for March 11th was a good show, top to bottom. The biggest storyline was the Alex Riley return. The big match tonight that was the main event was the Hideo Itami going up against Tyler Breeze in the main event. Itami had beat Breeze in the last two competitions, once in the tournament to go after the #1 contendership, which was won by I just still want to call this guy Prince Devitt. I cannot get their new names all down that much. Before I start these videos for the NXT returns, I say all of their names so that way I won't screw it up. But Finn Balor won the tournament, in the first round, it was Itami beating Tyler Breeze, and then of course they would have a rematch as soon as it was over. Itami was able to get the win again, and then this one, Tyler Breeze is coming out revenge. If you remember last week's show, it was where Tyler Breeze took out Itami as he was making his way up, and he was taking his pictures with the selfie stick, and Itami raised from the back, and because you could see what was on his phone on the Titantron in the background, you got to see Itami in the background and Tyler Breeze shrieking for help. But the show kicked off in a very good way, good tag team match to really get the show started. I've been very outspoken about Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy. I do not understand these guys. I don't understand why the NXT crowd cheers these guys like baby faces. From the first time I've seen them, I've always thought these guys would be heels, but they're oh so loved. And this was crowned a #1 contendership match. From watching the last few weeks of NXT, I knew right off the bat, as soon as they said this was a #1 contendership match, I knew Colin Cassidy and Enzo Amore was going to get the win here. They really have been coming off as just these huge stars. The crowd is really, really behind them. They're about as over as you can get at NXT. Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy were able to get the win. Basically, there was a cool spot in this match where basically Enzo Amore was getting his ass kicked. The Dragons had the ring cut off in half. Finally, Colin Cassidy just came in all 7 feet of himself and just helped out his partner. Normally, he would go back to the corner and try and wait to get the hot tag. He picked up Enzo Amore, dragged him across the ring, and set him in front of the turnbuckle, got outside of the ring, put his hand in, and got tagged by Enzo to come in and clean house. To setting up for immediately re-tagging Enzo Amore, who was supposed to be selling on the outside. Enzo Amore got picked up for the rocket launcher off the top rope to get the pin over the Lucha Dragons, now making them the new #1 contender. From there, we go to the Alexa Bliss versus Carmella match. This is, of course, the Alexa Bliss's return match after losing to Sasha Banks. The match that ended up getting the Sharpie thrown at me by Sasha Banks when I mentioned that she beat up Alexa Bliss and that I was an Alexa Bliss fan. They're really hyping up Alexa Bliss going after Sasha Banks, basically saying that she broke her nose and she's coming back to get revenge. This was the first time she'd wrestled in months. I can't remember when I went to that show, but I think it was in January. So she's been out close to 2 months. Is when I think that match happened. But in this match, Alexa Bliss comes off as she still is the rookie. She is getting a hang of what she's doing. She's trying her best at wrestling. She is the ultimate underdog. Carmella came in and really, even though she is a rookie herself, really put a beating to Alexa in this match. Alexa was able to get a break in the match, and that set her up getting the win with the Sparkle Splash. It looks like she's going to be the new #1 contender, getting a shot at Sasha Banks sooner than later. They're really hyping up this match. From there, they go to Alex Riley versus CJ Parker, the most hyped up match of the night. They did make a mistake throughout the show, basically saying that Alex Riley needed to get a win tonight over CJ Parker to be able to prove to Commissioner Regal that he was fit to return to NXT, and he wants to get a shot against Kevin Owens. Immediately after that commercial break, they go to a commercial for next week's NXT, hyping up the fact that Alex Riley has a match against Kevin Owens in the main event. They come back from that. They go to a promo, hyping up the match between Riley and CJ Parker again, then going to a backstage promo of Alex Riley finally getting us to the match, and then immediately showing the commercial again after the match for next week. We get Alex Riley going up against Kevin Owens. So we still don't even know if Alex Riley was able to impress Commissioner Regal. They've already just told us twice the match is going to happen, so it is what it is. Alex Riley got the win and a pretty good comeback match, beating CJ Parker. CJ Parker seems to be the NXT punching boy right now, just as much as Bold Dempsey is. And this leads us to the main event. Hideo Itami going up against Tyler Breeze. Very, very good match. The crowd was really behind Itami. Every time I watch him, I always, think of it as being something special. I'm watching the New Japan World, where basically I'm getting to watch a lot of the NXT guys, on average about once a month. And here it is, Itami is wrestling on NXT on average about every other week. This guy's supposed to be one of the best Japanese stars, coming over and trying his best in America with WWE. He's one of the big, NXT poster boys, I guess you can say, one of the big Triple H guys that are the projects they're trying to make into it. But tonight he wasn't able to get the win. Tyler Breeze beating Hideo Itami. I apologize, and that was it. From there, next week, we're going to be seeing a lot of things from the Arnold Classic, with NXT going on the road to Ohio. They should be really promoting how great these shows were and how great the fan participation was, seeing how NXT wants to become more of an on-the-road kind of... I was going to call them a company, but I guess you can call them a brand. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping that NXT will at least have a WrestleMania show next year. NXT coming from Florida and having a show in Sacramento, California is a little bit of a stretch, but I can hope that if I have to go see an NXT show and I have to wait a whole year till Dallas next year, I'm ready for it. I'm really surprised that NXT isn't running their own branded shows this year. They've been at WrestleMania for the last few years, at WrestleMania Access, having a presence, but it's different when you have their own show. Last year, I ended up going to Access 3 times on Saturday. I went to the morning, afternoon, and nighttime session. All of the sessions, I was around the NXT ring, either waiting in lines or actually watching the matches right next to the ring. And on that Saturday, I watched Charlotte have a match against Paige. Paige was the champion at the time, and seeing Charlotte wrestle Paige 3 times would not normally be a downfall of the day, but when they ran the same NXT show at every Access that day, I saw the same match 3 times, where basically Charlotte came down to have a match against Paige. Paige beat her really fast. Charlotte threw a temper tantrum. There was a match that happened after that one. Charlotte came down after that match, threw a fit in the ring about losing so fast to Paige, saying that she wasn't ready, to the point where Paige came out and they wrestled again, and Paige beat her. Why they didn't switch it up during the day and wrestle some sort of a different match, I have no clue. But they were trying to run like an NXT-style show there, so maybe you would go home and be jazzed to watch it. And maybe not everybody was a Access loser like I was, going to all 3 sessions. But that's my story about that. But I'll see you guys down the road. Everybody have fun. NXT tonight was awesome. I love Wednesdays.